Hey folks, I am Troy and you're watching TroyTube. Today I thought I'd do a quick video and show you a few things that you can get at Dollar Tree for Easter buckets and decorating. So I just did a video that was titled How to Make $10,000 a Month with Your Cricut, and one of the big topics in there I talked about was when we first started, we had bought a lot of things at Dollar Tree and were decorating them and personalizing them for Easter gifts and Easter baskets and things, and we did like 350 Easter buckets in 1 month, the first when we first got our Cricut, and sold them for like 20 bucks a piece. That was like $7,000 we made just from Easter buckets in 1 month, on top of everything else. So we were making way more than that overall when you put everything together. I was in a Dollar Tree the other day. I thought, oh, they've got all their Easter stuff out. Let's see what all they have now and compare to this, because that was 7 years ago when we were doing that stuff, and I wanted to see what they had, how it's changed, and what they might have now that you might be able to make with dollar items, or $1.25 items, I should say. I've even seen some Dollar Trees even have like a premium area, and things are like $3 and $5 in that section or something. I haven't seen it here in Louisville, but I have seen that somebody posted online. So the first one you just saw is a little pink bunny bucket, and this one has like a nice big empty area here where you can put a child's name, maybe decorate it with some flowers and things. That bunny is on both sides of it, so you could do a two-sided decoration, has a handle on it. This isn't a real big bucket. This one is pretty small, but probably okay for a small child for their Easter bucket, and it's nice. You can see the glare on it. It's nice and slick and shiny. One of the things I do want to point out, I mentioned in that other video, if you haven't watched, that's a long video. It's almost an hour long, which is just me talking, kind of boring for a lot of people probably. But one of the things I talk about is that permanent or any vinyl doesn't really stick so well to softer plastics, because the plasticizers in the plastic doesn't allow the adhesive to cure and bond to it like it does to glass or painted car surface or any other hard, smooth, slick, shiny surface like that, like a mailbox or whatever. But it does stick pretty well if it's a nice, smooth, shiny, hard surface. And because it doesn't cure and bond to it as well, it does stick to it well, but you can also strip it off pretty easy too, so you can reuse it. We had like 30 buckets that year. We made all those that didn't get picked up. People, we were doing that on the honor system for orders, and people paid for them when they picked them up. So we were able to just peel that off the following year and reuse and recycle those buckets and sell them the following year, so it wasn't a big deal. But did want to point that out and talk about that a little bit. I did see this nice little green monster bucket. Not even sure what that is. I don't know if that's a cartoon character. My kids are grown, so I don't know. But not a lot of room to decorate that, but you can do something on the back and on the sides. I don't know, maybe you could put something across the head or something, but thought I'd get it, show it to you. Maybe you could use it for something else, if not for Easter. They did have some sports themes buckets. They have a soccer bucket. They had a football themed bucket as well that was just the exact same size as this. One of the things you want to watch for when you get something that has a pattern like this is if you just decorate it, put their name on it, it can be hard to see, hard to read. So I did something as an example here to show you how you can use an offset. So Cricut Design Space on the computer, not on the tablet or anything, because the technology is different, but on the computer you have the offset feature, and you can add an offset and it can make your designs and writing easier to read because it'll separate it from those patterns. So that's a little trick, if you're not familiar with that you can use. I just threw some red and black Orcal 651 on that to show it to you real quick. Didn't do anything fancy there. It's even, it's not crooked. I thought it was crooked, but it's not. But anyway, that's the thing you want to think about when you're doing those types of designs. Matter of fact, I'll show you here real quick. This is how easy the vinyl removes. It's stuck on there pretty good, but I can peel it off and it comes off pretty clean. So that's something that you can you'll be able to reuse when you do those things. They had these cute little white buckets with some designs on them, not too much. The other side is actually completely blank, so you could decorate the one side with a name, put some bunny rabbits or flowers or something on it, and it's already decorated with little chicks on the other side. That's a decent size, a little bit bigger diameter bucket. Decent, you know, not too small, not too large. Then I did see this other bucket that I picked up just to show you, because this is not one I would probably use for an Easter bucket. It probably wouldn't come out that great. This one is textured. It looks like it's made to look like it's got a basket weave on the outside of it. And I'll show you, I just cut a little piece of vinyl here and I'm gonna stick it onto it and kind of rub it in here. It will work, it will stick to it. It might be a little bit harder to get it to stick and put your transfer tape off, because it's a matte finish, it's a little bit textured. But when you put your vinyl on it, you can see the texture shows through. You can see it in the glare in the camera there. I mean, it doesn't look too bad, but I probably wouldn't do that, and the vinyl does not stick nearly as well at all. You can see how easy that peeled right back off of there. So I don't recommend this one, or ones that have that texture or the matte rough finish on them. Vinyl, yeah, just doesn't stick as well to those finishes. And they have these buckets. They had these in some different colors. I picked up the green one. This is actually, they have it labeled as a dry erase marker bucket, so I guess you can write on that and wipe it right off. It'd probably work on any of these that are smooth and shiny, I would guess. But this would make probably a nice little boys bucket. Maybe put some black squares on there, do a Minecraft theme if kids are still on. I guess kids are still doing a Minecraft thing, but you know, decent sized bucket again. This was a little bit more like the buckets that we were doing when we were making the Easter buckets, and you know, these were easy to work with. These do have some lines in them across through here. Pluses and minuses. One plus is it allows you to line things up much easier. You've got a visual to level things up and line them up. The minus is when you put your vinyl over that, again, you're going to see that texture show through, but it's pretty subtle. It's not too bad. Now, not too long ago, they didn't have this at the Dollar Tree where I picked up these other buckets the other day, but I did pick these up at a Dollar Tree not too long ago, and that was just a little bit bigger, different shaped version of that same bucket. It's a trapezoid kind of shape, a little rectangular instead of square. Nice big flat sides on both sides that you can decorate. It has handles on both sides, just like the green one I just showed you. And when we were doing the Easter buckets 7 years ago, 6 years, you know, we did them for a couple of years. They were shaped more like this, these scalloped buckets. These are the ones I had at the Dollar Tree here in Louisville the other day. I got two of them. One's navy blue, one's a burnt orange. So not particularly Easter colors, more like college sports teams or something. I mean, Texas, West Virginia, other teams, you know, use burnt orange and navy blue. But they were, the ones we had were more this size, but they were shaped like this. So if you wanted to make someone maybe an older kid, a Texas Longhorns themed Easter bucket, or West Virginia University, or any other teams that use those colors. I can't remember the other color they had. They had a third one. It might have been green, but I can't remember. I think it was dark green. Actually, I think it was dark red. It was like a deep, even probably like darker than a cardinal red color. So you might be able to do those for an older kid or something. But you know, these are nice, big buckets. They're probably better used for other things. But I wanted to show those to you to show you what they have now versus what they had back when we were doing them. And the other little add-ons that I saw that a lot of people really like are these eggs. So they have the smaller egg. This one is 5 inches long, 3.5 inches wide. It comes with the top and bottom. The top is clear, and you could decorate the top of it. And you know, one of the things you want to be careful of if you haven't done a lot of vinyl on round surfaces is if your design is too large, you'll get wrinkles in it because you're trying to apply a flat object to a round cylindrical surface. Or spherical surface, I should say. So, you know, people think that you should be able to slap vinyl on this and it'll lay all down all the way around, and it doesn't work that way. So imagine if you were just taking a sheet of paper and trying to apply it and wrap it around this, it's going to wrinkle. Vinyl's going to do the same way. subtle differences. You'll be able to stretch and lay the vinyl down, get it to lay down flat, but you want to be careful of the sizes of your designs when you're working with these in order to prevent the vinyl itself from wrinkling and not laying down completely on those. And then there's the bigger egg. This one is I think 7.5 inches long and about 5 inches wide, something like that. And so hold both of those up there for you so you can see them. And same thing, this one has the clear top on it. So a lot of people, a lot of people have made a ton of these over the years that I've seen posting on social media and decorating them, filling them full of candy or whatever they want to put in them for the kids. Kids absolutely love them. And they're great for the Easter egg hunts too, especially these, a little bit smaller ones. You can, put different stuff in them, put money in them or whatever, and, hide them out in the yard or wherever. And, those are some pretty good little items. Again, going back to that other video I made, you can take those things, $1.25 for those items, personalize them, decorate them up, and put some vinyl on them. Vinyl is pretty inexpensive. You're putting like 50 cents worth of vinyl on them, probably total, maybe $1 if you really go all out and decorate both sides and put flowers all over it and everything. And you're able to sell those for 15-20 bucks at least. Personalized with a child's name on it. And those are very, very profitable items, very easy to make and do. Now, a lot of people like to talk about the transfer tape they use, and that is one case where I do use something like contact paper a lot of times for transfer tape because I'm setting and I'm applying them right at the time I do them. This is the actual contact brand I buy at Target or Walmart or wherever I can find it. A lot of people use the stuff from Dollar Tree. I did not like the Dollar Tree contact paper. I had a lot of problems with it leaving residue, even if I applied it right after I used it. It would leave that residue on the vinyl, and it's really nasty, really hard to get off. In fact, contact brand, duck brand, any kind of paper like this that's not meant to be transfer tape, I only recommend using it if you're applying it yourself right at the time you're doing it, because it can leave that residue on there, and it most likely will if you leave it on there for more than a minute or two. I had someone a couple of years ago that messaged me, and they had made, for a fundraiser for their church, I believe it was, 1,000 decals, and they used contact paper, and they were asking how they could get the adhesive off of it. And I'm telling you, it is a real pain to do that. So if you use this stuff, just be careful. Don't leave it on too long. But it does come in handy. It's really inexpensive for the volume you get to produce items like that. I can usually use this like between 5 and 10 times for applying different pieces. I would just use it and stick it on the edge of my desk, and then get the next one ready, use it again, stick it on the edge of my desk, and then it would eventually just get not sticky enough, and I'd have to throw away and cut a new piece off. And a roll of this stuff just lasted me forever when I was doing all that high volume stuff. But when if I'm going to do a real decal or anything I'm going to sell to someone, or a decal that's not going to be applied immediately, or if I'm not going to apply it myself, then I use real transfer tape for that, because it generally should not leave that sticky residue on the vinyl when you remove it. Speaking of that transfer tape, I'll leave you with a funny story. I was meeting with someone about a year ago and was explaining to them about transfer tape and vinyl and decals and everything. And I said, I'll tell you a funny story. I said, now that I'll tell you this story, I said, I guarantee within the next month you'll notice this. I said, you'll be behind a car at a stoplight, and you'll notice a decal on the window of the car in front of you, and it'll still have the transfer tape on it, because they didn't know they were supposed to put the decal on and then peel that transfer tape back off. And I said, now that I've told you that, you'll notice it. And so we left the building to go to a different location. And one of the people I was meeting with, when we walked out into the parking lot, he tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, he said, look at the back of my car. And on the back of their car, he had a decal that he hadn't removed the transfer tape off of. It was pretty funny. So anyway, I thought I'd just share the items at Dollar Tree that I saw here in Louisville, Kentucky. I don't know if they have different ones in different parts of the country. They might have, but considering supply chain issues for the past year and how tough some of that stuff has been, it may be the same everywhere. They don't have quite the selection of those things that they used to have, but hopefully, I'm hoping by next year those things will be back on track. This past fall, the shipping and supply chain issues were just horrible, getting products into the country from other places. And Dollar Tree is, of course, very dependent on China to produce a lot of their products. So, but hopefully that's been helpful to you. I just wanted to share some of the things that I saw, and I thought I'd spend a few bucks and bring them in here and do a video and show you what's out there. So if you have any questions or comments, just post them down below the video.